What up, internet? This is a third video that I'm doing tonight. I'm in a creative mood. Actually, I'm not really. I just felt like doing a few. I haven't done them in a while. So my video today is going to be a fairly short one. I just have something I want to talk about that I actually was planning on making a video on for a while. I have a certain, you can't really call it like a fetish. It's not a fetish. It's like this thing that I like to do when the summer comes and when the winter gets nice. When the weather gets nice. I like to drive barefoot, okay? A lot of people will be like, oh, you know, drive barefoot, why? You know, what the hell do you want to drive barefoot for? I don't really know why, you know? I tried driving with sandals, because, like, if I had my way, you know, if I won the Mega Millions and I was, you know, independently wealthy and I didn't have to work anymore, I would still work, I would still do things, but my attire would pretty much consist of cargo shorts, comfortable polo shirts, and flip-flops, like sandals. That's what I would wear every day. You know, every day that I was able to wear that, I would. So, you know, I always kind of enjoyed that, you know what I mean? I always liked driving barefoot. And I tried, like, you know, doing sandals and driving. And see, the problem with driving sandals, it's actually quite hazardous driving with sandals. It's just not really good, because sometimes, like, if the sandal falls off your foot, you know, it can get, like, wedged and you lose it down in there in a crevice, you know? So I started driving barefoot a while ago, and I realized very early on, like, right now I'm driving barefoot, and, like, I'm at a stop sign, and I have my toes, my big toe and the couple next to it, wrapped around the top of the brake pedal, you know? Like, I have a grip on it, like it's like my little mini hand. And I can't for the life of me understand why that's illegal. Like, I'm driving around right now with bare feet, and I'm breaking the law. I don't know if talking to a camera, you know, and recording yourself is breaking the law too, but driving with bare feet in New Jersey is a law. And, you know, I was actually just talking to a girl at work who was explaining to me that she was pulled over, and, you know, she had, like, heels on, and she took the heels off while she was driving to work, because obviously it's not really safe to drive a car with heels. And the officer pulled her over and informed her that he was going to give her a ticket for it, that it was illegal in the state of New Jersey. And even after she explained, you know, very clearly something that most intelligent adults would say, yeah, wow, that's common sense. I mean, I don't want the girl to drive with high heels on and then fucking not be able to hit the gas or the brake at the right time and, you know, God forbid, crash into somebody, hit a kid. You know, you don't want that to go down. Obviously, I don't want no one to do that. You know, so you'd think that they would, if they implemented a law that said that driving with bare feet is illegal, they would have some sort of, like, basis for it. But that's not really the case. I mean, I guess essentially I'm making this video to try to see if there's anybody out there that does have, like, a reason for me why driving barefoot is illegal. How would it be, how is it illegal to drive or operate a vehicle using your actual, like, because when you're driving with using the pedals, you're using your feet, right? You're using your foot. Most people use their right foot. Some people do double feet. You know, you use your right foot to go from back and forth to the gas and the brake. Now, wouldn't it be better if you weren't wearing anything on your feet? Like, you didn't have any obstructions, like pieces of leather this thick, hard dress shoes that sometimes are a little bit too long, depending on how big your feet are, heels, like all of these different types of foot apparel, which are not illegal to drive an automobile in, but it's illegal to drive with none of them on. Now, you just stop and think for a second. Like, everyone who watches this video, try to, like, take a second and think, really, like, how is that illegal? Go outside if you have to. Take your shoes off, go barefoot, and drive around the block with your foot. And tell me if you don't think you have a better grasp or a better hold on the brake and the gas when you're using it. Because you can feel it. It's like, you know, it's like using your hands. It's your foot. you know, I'm sure everybody's picked something up off the ground with their feet, with their toe, and then, you know, giving it to themselves instead of bending it over. It's your fucking foot. You can use it. It's not like just this lump of dead flesh. So, I mean, I guess this is really just a long video on driving barefoot, but that's really what I wanted to, like, talk about. I want to know how many other people out there agree with this law. And you know, whether or not you agree with it or not, whatever, explain to me how it makes sense and how it's not just one more way for a state that is already corrupt, that already steals money from everyone, can just take money from you for no reason because an officer of the law will not be sympathetic with you. He doesn't care. You know, he's just going to tell you, sir, you're driving with no shoes on, you have bare feet, which is against the law, and it's my job to write you a ticket in which you're going to have to pay. If you don't pay, you're going to be in further trouble. You might have to go to court and whatever, you know. That's like the reality of the law. So, like, get at me. Let me know what you think about this. And the fact that I'm driving bare feet right now. And I feel I have way better control over my braking and my gas ability. You know, I just don't know how else to explain it. And I don't really think that this is something I've practiced and learned a lot, because I mean, I've driven barefoot quite a lot of times over the past spring and summers, because it's something that I enjoy doing. It's like a guilty pleasure, I guess you could say. And I don't really know that it's because it's illegal. It's just because it's something that you don't normally get to do because of like attire and maybe work restraints and weather restraints. So when I can drive somewhere, like to the beach or to a park, or, you know, wear my sandals and have my sandals in the back for when I get to, like, the mall, it's something that I'm going to choose to do rather than wear footwear. You know what I mean? If given the choice, I would always choose to drive bare feet because, to me, it's safer. So, what do you think? This turned into a very long video on driving bare feet, but, you know, I'm trying to explain myself a little bit. You guys know how I roll. I know the videos get boring after a while, but, you know, you don't have to watch them. So that's it. Just let me know. Rate, comment, subscribe, like always. If you got some stuff you think that I might be interested in, send it my way. If not, you don't have to. My friend just flagged me down. He's mad that I rolled by his house and didn't say hello, so I have to turn around now and end the video. So that's it. True 101 story. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.